Shalom, this is a Beak back with another edification. I want to thank all 203 of my subscribers. I want to wish that all of my subscribers are in high health and high spirits. And I wish that all of my subscribers and your loved ones are protected and safe against these agendas that are waged against us here behind enemy lines here in America. Today I want to talk about the unfaithfulness of the Western female. And I'm going to be using Chantel Simone's content. If anyone has not heard of Chantel Simone, she's a beautiful lioness who has some content on her channel. And why do you come in here? Oh my God. Okay, Salakia. Oh my goodness, man. Stop trying to come in here. All right. Sorry about that. I'm trying to enjoy this beautiful day and these insects are flying. Okay. I understand on my channel that all of my subscribers are not biblically inclined or do not consider themselves to be Hebrew Israelites. But on my channel, my message is based on prophecy, biblical edification, and my message to the men is to save themselves from this world that doesn't love them and save themselves from this Western female who is a high-level threat physically and spiritually, all right? And today I want to talk about the unfaithfulness of the Western female whore, okay? This is the so-called Black, Latino, Native American, Gentile female that does not practice her ancient heritage of keeping the commandments and the law statutes of the God of Israel, which is the God of the so-called Blacks, Latinos, and Native American Indians, and no one else, okay? So without further ado, I'm going to react to Chantel Simone's content about this Western female that's unfaithful, okay? So I'll be back with some further edification.
One thing I can't stand about a lot of y'all chicks, and I know y'all gonna get mad at me for saying this, but y'all need to stop constantly sitting up talking about how these men on the DL and these men sassy and these men this and these men that, when y'all know a lot of y'all women be on the DL. Y'all know y'all do. Like, y'all always trying to get drunk and kiss. And then a lot of y'all be stay talking about, I don't like these men, I don't like them. And it be because y'all like a woman. Y'all just like me and money. Y'all don't want to get with no woman though because y'all don't want to pay for y'all own stuff. And y'all know that a lot of the women don't have no money. You know what I'm saying? A lot of y'all know what y'all be on, and then y'all keep doing that same lie. Talk about, yeah, you know, I only ate 3 cats. Acting like that's normal just because y'all women. A lot of y'all women need to stop talking about these men when y'all be doing the same stuff. Y'all be messing around with y'all friends on the low, having sleepovers, talking about these men getting all riled up, and then y'all get to doing what y'all do. Y'all know what y'all be doing. It's not just the men that's on the DL, it be y'all too. It be y'all too, like.
If Quinn bit down, everyone would want his pale head on a pike.
Oh my God.
An energy blast sent...
Facts. That is why the first thing they say when a man tells them the truth is that he is gay. Like, sis, dang.
Stop it. Get some help.
A man can voice his opinion without getting accused of being a homosexual. The strong hatred that a lot of these women have for men, it's giving batigal. Because you can't say anything positive about men, more specifically Black men, without they getting triggered. You could see a man that's doing good, that's, you know, supporting his family, working hard, being the best that he can be, and you give him a little praise, and they will call you pick me. You literally can't say anything without them getting triggered. And I'm saying the strong hatred y'all have for men. And let us not even talk about their girl strip.
The ghetto.
Let us not even talk about how they behave dancing on each other. Yeah. That projection of thinking that men are the one that's on the down low. This could be why a lot of them wear that much makeup and wig. And then when men say something about it, they're like, I'm not doing it for y'all men. So who are you doing it for? A female? So that means that if we're going to put 2 and 2 together, -1.
2 plus 2 is 4. Minus 1, that's 3. Quick maths.
But y'all, yeah, I have to agree with this clip that a lot of women are on the DL, because if you factor in again the makeup and the ridiculous wigs, and then you factor in the fact that they're like, we're not doing it for men, and then the hatred, the strong hatred that they have towards men, and then their little girls trips. Something is suspect right there. Is it just me, or can y'all see it too?
Red flag, when nothing know red flag when you don't see it.
People always want to talk about DL men and the signs.
Okay. So I'm gonna leave this. I'm gonna leave this video in the description below, along with Hosea 2. Okay, and I'm gonna go over to my edification now, and I'm gonna put this in airplane mode real quick. All right, now on the screen here, there is this so-called black female here in America behind enemy lines. And as far as the females go, they suffer from feminism, and they're suffering from being a whore, and they're suffering from being adulterous. Okay, a lot of these, well, the majority, all of them, all of the females over here. We're not talking about the women. We're not talking about the executive women, the supportive women who value family and they're executing their divine femininity. I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about females, not women. I'm talking about females, strictly only females. These females are busted. These females are a threat. These females have already checked out, and they've already let themselves go. And what they do is they look at all men as being a trick or being a direct threat to their behavior. Okay, because these females suffer from a lack of accountability and a lack of responsibility as far as being a wife and upholding their values as a wife for a family and a healthy relationship with a husband. So today I want to talk about Hosea chapter 2, okay, which goes into adultery based on the female's adultery, all right, the adultery of the woman, all right. The God of the Bible is the God of the so-called Black, Latino, Native American, man, woman, and child, okay, only, okay. And Hosea 2 starts off with a wife, a husband, and these 2 daughters. So it goes like this. And then I'm going to share some anecdotal stories at the end of this. But I want to get into Hosea chapter 2 and verse 1. And I'm going to leave this in the description box because this is only talking about adultery, all right, on the woman's part, all right? Since these females in America do not consider the Bible their handbook on how to love their husbands and to love their children and how to conduct themselves and how they need to manage their sexuality. Now it says here, verse 1, Hosea chapter 2, say ye unto your brethren, Ami, and to your sisters, Ramah, plead with your mother, plead, for she is not my wife, neither am I her husband. Let her therefore put away her whoredoms out of her sight, and her adulteries from between her breasts. Okay, so this is an unfaithful woman that is a wife, and the husband, which is the father of these children, is instructing the children to plead with their mother because their mother is being a whore. And he's separating himself from her as far as letting his children know she's not conducting herself as a wife. Therefore, I am not her husband. Okay? Now, verse 3. Lest I strip her naked and set her as in the day that she was born, and make her as a wilderness, and set her like a dry land, and slay her with thirst. So he said he's going to abandon her before he cuts her off, from being married to him, right? Before he divorces her, okay? 4, and I will not have mercy upon her children, okay? For they be the children of whoredoms, okay? And these females over here in America, they don't value virginity, and they shame a man who's seeking a wife that's a virgin. They shame men who prefer to be the first and the last man that a woman ever has as a husband, okay? So they think they try to demonize virginity, a woman's virginity, okay? The older females are just as guilty because the older females are old German Shepherd females who failed in relationship attempts. So they're supposed to be teaching these young girls how to be wives and love their husbands and love their children. But instead, these females that have failed in their relationship attempts are spreading the same infections and germs amongst these younger females and ruining the chances of these younger females ever having a healthy, long-lasting, divine marriage with a man. All right, so let's go into this. 5, it says, for their mother have played the harlot, she that conceived them have done shamefully. All right, just like these so-called black females over here in America. For she said, I will go after my lovers. This is how the Western female thinks. I will go after my lovers that give me bread and my water. Okay, so these will be modern day tricks and simps, okay, who come through. And these females are unfaithful because they're juggling multiple simps and multiple weak men who come through and provide things for her children that are not his. A lot of these guys are falling short dealing with these females who only value the transaction. It says that give me my bread and my water, my wool and my flax, mine oil and my drink, okay? These Western females are broke, financially broke. They're mentally weak, they're spiritually weak. They don't have what it takes to perform the wifely duties. All right, they've let themselves go spiritually and physically. The female here on the screen, I'm going to get into her after I read this Hosea chapter 2. I'm going to get into her and why it says women only at the bottom right there, okay? Okay, 6, Hosea chapter 2, verse 6. Therefore, behold, I will hedge up thy ways with thorns and make a wall that she shall not find her paths, and she shall follow after her lovers, but she shall not overtake them. Okay, because these females are going to be subjecting themselves to being oppressed and to a low level of dependency. These females are in the projects of America, at home, at a dirty house that needs to be cleaned up. These females are broke. These females are on drugs. smoking weed, drinking all the time. They're lazy. They're entertaining viewers on dating apps. They're like digital whores now. They have photos on dating apps with their breasts out. They have tight clothes on looking like prostitutes. And these are the same females that do not want to meet a real man in real life for a genuine relationship, but they will meet a man in public for a sexual transaction. They won't meet a man for that wants a wife, but they'll meet a man that just wants to have sex. If he'll cash up these females some money, then they'll easily meet up in public. Easily meet up in public. And a lot of guys, they fall victim to meeting these females in public offline for sexual transactions. They'll get deleted trying to meet these females for sex. Okay, because the so-called black woman, she hates the so-called black man. Okay, she'll use her little crash out dummies against a man that's trying to meet her for a genuine connection. Okay, see what just happened to Tory Lanez and that old Western stupid female, what's her name, Megan the Stallion, which a stallion is a male horse. You know what I'm saying? Any guy, well, let me just keep going. Let's go into this Hosea. Okay, 7. But she shall not, okay, it says, but she shall not overtake them, and she shall seek them, but shall not find them, the men. Let's go back up to 7. And she shall follow after her lovers, because like these Western female whores do, they're unfaithful. They follow after their lovers. Okay, and they have multiple lovers, and they call these multiple lovers daily. Tell the children this is their uncle. These are all your uncles, these multiple men. All right, it says, and she shall follow after her lovers, but she shall not overtake them. So these females will not ever be looked at like their wives or anything. They'll be dependents. All right, impoverished like they are today in 2025 in these projects of America, bumming. All right, being low-class escorts and low-class prostitutes because they can't pay their bills. They're broke. It says, and they can't buy essentials because they're broke for themselves or the children. It says, but shall not find them. Then shall she say, I will go and return to my first husband. The reach back. A lot of these females have children by men that they walked away from. And then years after years of hijacking these children from the fathers, these females will try to double back and reach back and try to get with the guy that they abandoned or that they walked away from years ago. A lot of guys are experiencing this in 2025. A lot of these females are calling them up out of nowhere, trying to see if they can get back with that first guy. And that first guy, he's like, hell no. Don't spin the block and try to get back with me after you left me when I was going through college, or you left me when I signed up for the military. You left me when you got pregnant with my child. You left then. Okay, you didn't follow his leadership then. So it says here, I will go and it says, then shall she say, I will go and return to my first husband, for then was it better with me than now. So they try to double back. My daughter's mother tried to do that. And boy, did I make her look stupid. She'll never try that shit again. I told her, you don't need me. You better call Jesus. You better call one of these Christians. You better call your mama. You better call one of them people that you gave my daughter to when you didn't want me to know where she was at all them years. So call them. You know what I'm saying? Call one of those simps that used to come through and you try to have my daughter call him daddy. Go call them. Don't come back. Don't try to double back to me. All right? So, no, I made her look stupid in the motherfucker, man. So it says, I will go and return to my first husband because sex is marriage, according to the Bible. It says, for then was it better with me than now. 8, for she did not know that I gave her corn and wine and oil and multiply her silver and gold, which they prepare for Baal. So again, these females, the Most High will bless them with a husband and a family and wealth or riches. And what do these females do? They go and worship another God. They go worship white Jesus. And that stupid ass one world religion that's not working. Okay? 9, it says, therefore will I return and take away my corn in the time thereof, and my wine in the season thereof, and will recover my wool and my flax given to cover her nakedness. See, so these females are looking real bare today. Their ears are dull. They don't listen. They don't follow a man's leadership. They lack responsibility, they lack accountability. Now, this female on the screen, she's on a dating site in the women's section so that men can see the women when they search for women. But here she is on the side where the men can find women, but she's on the side where the women are for the men to come across and find women, but she's over there looking for women. So she's looking for studs, like females that are trying to be men. She's expecting a female to be looking for the females under the men category. So here she is looking for women only, but she's on the side where the women are who want to look for men. How stupid is that? So you have these females online that are doing a lot of this stupid ass stuff, man. They're just all over the place on these dating apps, spreading their germs, spreading their infections, and they really have a deep hatred for men, yo. They, my neighbor, I got a lot of female single mothers around me, and one of my neighbors, she had a simp. The simp is no longer around, and since he's been gone, she's an elemental P, so she deals with males and females. And lately I've been seeing her with this guy who used to come and pick her up. When the simp was living with her, the simp let his car go. Well, he couldn't fix it. He didn't know how to prioritize his responsibilities and make sure his car was running. So when his car broke down, she would have this other guy from work come and pick her up. Well, now that the simp is gone, that other guy that used to pick her up used to drive a Challenger. Now he's coming. Now he's the one spending the night over here. Now she's with him. And then she also has these elemental P females with her that spends the night with her because she goes both ways. So she doing a lot of fornicating with these males and these females because she goes both ways. So she needs to repent from being a homosexual, but she also needs to repent from being unfaithful, okay? Because she's nothing but a whore, all right? And a lot of guys in America are still dealing with females that have already checked out from their divine femininity, and they have already checked out on their sexuality. These Western females are not secure in their sexuality. This is why they fear responsibility with a relationship, all right? They fear failing, all right? And the best way to overcome failure is to give it a try and to succeed. But these females fear failure, and they fear responsibility with the marriage, all right? And they fear a man's leadership as well, all right? They're intimidated by a man's leadership and a man's value, a man's divine value, okay? They run from that like they did in Genesis 3, where Eve, she sinned when she was dealing with the serpent, and she knew. These females know better. They do know better. That's the problem, is that they know better. They just choose not to do better. All right? So the Western female is unfaithful. And I say on my channel constantly, men, save yourselves from these Western females. If she wants to hijack your children, then to hell with them children. Go make some more. Or, you know, avoid these females all the way around and just focus on your spiritual fortune. All right? Just focus on your heritage. Focus on practicing the commandments. All right? Keeping the commandments to the best of your ability, and separate yourself from America on paper. All right? You can do that. If you can read and write, then you can go ahead and orchestrate or put together a document and to do something about this this bond that we have with these Edomites, these so-called whites over here in Babylon, here behind enemy lines here in America. Okay, but that was my edification for today. I just wanted to go in on these Western females, and this female on the picture, she says she's looking for women only, but she's not looking for women. She's looking for females. Women do not entertain other females that are not secure in their sexuality. Women love and desire heterosexual men. These females that are looking for other females, they're not secure in their sexuality. And a lot of guys deal with females that are not secure in their sexuality. They like dealing with these females that go both ways. They like dealing with these females that that are not trying to, or that are not wives, that don't want to be wives, that don't want to chase after a family, and don't want to make it their goal to possess a marriage. All right. So hopefully this has been hopefully this has edified someone. Okay, I'm gonna leave Hosea chapter 2 in the description, as well as Chantel Simone's video in the description if anyone wants to watch the entire video of Chantel Simone. All right, feel free to like, share, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. This has been a Beak. I want to thank all 203 of my subscribers. I want to wish that all of my subscribers are in high health and in high spirits. And I want to wish that all of my subscribers and your loved ones are safe and protected against these agendas that are waged against us here behind enemy lines, like this agenda with these females who lack responsibility and they lack divine femininity, all right, and they fear the failure of a relationship, all right, like these females, all right, here behind enemy lines here in America, all right. This has been a Beak with another edification. Hopefully somebody's been edified. Shalom.